Hi everybody, I'm Elisa and welcome to Polymer Clay TV. Today we have a fun project. We are going to make this angel ornament, and I just had so much fun with this, and it was so easy to make, and you can make these as gifts that take probably maybe a half an hour or so. The time takes to mold a few pieces and roll out some clay and then bake it. So in an hour you could have a really cute project that is perfect for gift giving for the holiday season. You could even hang these on a wine bottle if you're going to a party as like a housewarming thing. If you're going over to somebody's place, you could hang them on a Christmas tree. You could hang them on the wall. There's so many different things you can do with them, and you can adjust them to whatever your liking is. And once you see how easy it is, you're going to be like, wow, I could totally do that. So anyways, let me talk about a few of the things we're going to be using today. I have many molds because most of this was molded, so that's what makes it so easy and fast. I used a mold that's from Polyform, and this is actually an old mold. I believe Marlene Carlson actually carved the original. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. But anyways, it's got a few of these different sayings in it: wish, dream, and imagine. So I'm going to use that, and I pre-molded everything. I just realized I forgot the wish, but I'll mold that. I've got a butterfly mold. Actually, this is another one from Polyform, and I'm using this large face, this one right here. So I pre-molded all that, so you don't have to sit here and watch me shave it off or whatever. I've got a butterfly. This is a Polymer Clay TV mold. This is the Henna Paisley mold, and I'm just going to use this part, and I used it on the crown right here. But as you can see, there's so many different pieces to the Henna Paisley mold. Sky's the limit. And then I've got the large wings mold. This is a Polymer Clay TV mold as well. And I've got a crown mold, Polymer Clay TV mold. And I've got Lisa Pavelka's Victorian Lace rubber stamp, and this is an unmounted stamp. And then I've got some pan pastels, simply because I love pan pastels and I really like working with them. And so I'm going to use a variety of those today. And I'm using the Spanish Olive Primo brand clay. And I've got some glitter in there from the last project. Always glitter. So we're going to combine all these things. Like I said, I already have these pre-molded, but I'm going to show you how I made the body. I did not use any template whatsoever. I just conditioned my clay. And you're going to be using the Victorian Lace stamp for this. But if you have any stamps in your collections, obviously you can use whatever you want. I'm just using these particular things because they were in my stash and I actually really like them together. So it's entirely up to you. So what I'm doing now is just conditioning the clay like you normally do. Let me run it through the pasta machine real fast. That helps. This was a really fresh bar, so I won't have to do much conditioning. But you can, depending on what you're going to do with it, you want to think about how thick it's going to be. You can see here she's not very thick. I'd say about #1 thickness, or the largest thickness on a pasta machine. I did not use a pasta machine to do this. I was in my house playing around with some bars of clay that I had and just did it all freehand. So, the body anyways. So I'm gonna roll this out, and you want to roll it in lengthwise, because she's gonna be long this way. And so you can run it through the pasta machine on #1 if you want to. I'll go ahead and do that just so we have a uniform body. So that's #1. And so I just took my blade and I basically did like a little rounded kind of shape and pulled the rest away. That's all I did to get the body. And so then I just used my fingers or my blade to help shape it into kind of like a rounded top, and just clean up your sides a little. So you have that basic shape of her body. Okay? Simple. Now I could have gone ahead and rubber stamped it before I cut it, but you can do it after as well. So then you want to just lay your stamp on there. Now, depending on what kind of impression, if you want a deep impression, obviously you'll give a little more pressure when you're putting the stamp. If you want a light impression, you wouldn't use as much pressure. And if it's warm where you are, then you obviously need a release, but it's actually not too bad here. And so you just pull off your stamp like so. Let me lift this up so you can see. And there's the body. That's how I created her body. Okay? So next I used the fancy frill cutter, and I just gave it a little cut along the bottom to make her dress have a little cute edge, and peeled away the extra. Simple, simple. And now we're ready to start building the entire piece. That's all there is to that. Okay, so I started with her face because that's how you're going to get the symmetry. You know, you got to put it in the right place so that you know where to place everything else. I'm going to have to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. So I just basically stuck her head on the top here and kind of saw where I here's the back of her. So she wasn't that far down, just a little bit at the top here. And then I gave her a little push when I found the right place. Gentle push so that it sticks to the clay. Okay? Simple, simple. Now we have the wings, and I have all these pre-molded, and let me just peel them out. And you want to clean them up if they need any cleaning up on the sides, which these look pretty good. They might need a little help here. So just use your fingers. You may be hearing some background noise today. It sounds like they're drilling a well out there. I think maybe we've had so little rain here in northern Florida, it's not even funny, that I don't know if I've heard things about people's wells drying up, which is terrible because wells are not cheap. Thank goodness mine is doing all right. So anyway, so you get your wings all set up, and now we want to place them behind her in wherever you think is the spot that you like, and just lay her right onto that spot. Actually, the best thing to do so that you don't have issues is to use like a piece of wax paper so that you don't have, so you can easily move her. So that's what I'm going to do. Either wax or parchment paper works great. So sorry about that noise. So let's put her on this so you guys can see, and I won't have to move her 100 times that way. I think her wings should come down a little. Maybe about there, looks good. And so once you find your placement of your wings, give it a little push. You're not trying to distort it. You're just trying to get the wings in the right spot there. And so that's that. Okay, simple, simple. Next thing we're moving on to is the butterfly. So I've already pre-molded the butterfly. And I stuck her. Also, always clean up any edges that you might have that might not be perfect or the way you like it. And I stuck the butterfly right there in the middle. Just give it a light touch. And then I started adding my words. So I went with dream first. And dream went here. And imagine. Just cleaning up my edges. I'm doing this upside down, so it might not exactly be perfect. And then the last one was was wish. But actually, I'm going to leave that off for right now, simply because I don't know where my silver clay is. I had it all in the house and then moved out here. So I'm like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get everything done before I'm going on a trip this weekend, very short trip. But my best friend turned 50 this year, as did I. And we're going to go spend the weekend together. I don't think we've ever done that in the 40 plus years we've been friends, ever just took off and spent the weekend together alone. So that's what we're doing. I'm meeting her. She lives way down in South Florida, so it's a 6-hour ride up here. So we're going to meet halfway, which will be really fun. So anyways, I'm just going to leave off the wish, but you get the gist. You can put the wish on there from that mold. And so then I also did her crown, which is this mold right here. Fold that out. Now I placed the crown underneath her head, okay? And that way I got it a place for it to adhere to, all right? And then I used the henna paisley mold, and that's this piece right here. And that became, oh, did I break it? I broke it. Sorry, guys. Well, let me see if I can fix it. if you can't fix it, you got to remold it, and which is probably what I got to do. Oh, one of those days. Sorry, guys, but let's remold it so that it's right, and then you'll get to see me mold anyways. You don't have to watch me mold everything, but one little piece. Okay, so basically, let me move this. Basically, just kind of shape it to the shape that you're wanting to get into, and kind of move it until it fills the crevices the best you can. If you have extra, obviously, you can shave it off or pull it off and you know, just set that aside. So let me try to get it perfect. Well, I want to get it, you want to try to get it as perfect as you can in the mold, because that's less cleanup after the fact. Now you can bake in these silicone molds. You can bake directly in the oven with these. It won't hurt it at all. So if you feel like you're too heavy-handed, like as you can see, and as you know if you watch the videos, I'm quite the heavy-handed person. And if you feel like you might break it, then go ahead and bake it first, and then you can put it on too. So there it is. Let me try to pull this up gently this time. There we go. Now I got it. And so then this went on her head, kind of like a extra ornamentation. I just thought that was so pretty. I mean, you could do anything. You could add jewels to her. You could add beads, whatever it is that you'd want, you know. It's totally up to you. You know what? I'm looking at this and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to cut this down a little further. I think it seems a little wide. Perfect. Now it seems more on par. And so that's it. That's her wings. That's her butterfly, the words, the crown, and that little extra piece. And really that's it, other than a few little dots. If you want to add these dots at the bottom, they're just little balls of clay I put on there and poked a hole, or poked a, not really a hole, but just added a little dot to it. So now we're ready to start decorating her, and I think I want to do this differently. I knew my sister would fall in love with this. Of course, I always tell you she's my biggest fan. But that's really not her colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some more purple and kind of, and reds. That's really her colors. So I'm going to kind of decorate it with these, because she is going to end up with this. I know it. And so you just use your pan pastels any way you want, you know, to put your swipe of color on. You can use your fingers if you prefer. Just highlighting the texture, you know, nothing too extravagant here, just a little bit of color. Now what I like to do is start with my darkest color, because you can always lighten it up if you don't care for it after you've done it, you know. You could add something on top of it to lighten it up. And I'm just doing like a little bit of a wash, not really, you know, an overall saturation, just to get some colors on there. Okay, so that is the permanent red shade that I've done. Okay, now I'm going to add purple, I think, on top of that to bring in some rich purple, which I know she loves purple. She's developed this purple color, she's developed this like for purple when I was always the one with purple. Growing up, I had purple and blue shag carpet in my bedroom, and she had pink and red. So we each had our color scheme, but as she got older, she seems to like the purple a little more. So really, this is totally up to you to have fun with this and to do whatever colors you like, you know. And so that's really it. I mean, you can use your finger. And let me show you too. So say this was a little too dark for you. I've got this little violet tint color. I could come back over this and totally lighten it up and give it a totally different look. You see how doing that can totally just change the look of it. And so you can use your fingers, like I said, or a brush. Now I like this color here for her lips. I thought that would be really pretty for her lips. And you want to go very sparingly with that, because a little goes a long way with these pan pastels. And I have to turn it around, otherwise she's going to look something like I don't want her to look. So let me kind of fan this out. Sorry, but I'm using my finger too here. I'm giving it a little lick to clean it up. So then what I did was I gave a little blush. right on her cheeks. Very tiny bit, not a lot. Kind of just rubbed it in. And you'll see it brings out a lot of color. So I came back and I lightened that as well. And you can use whatever color you want to tone it down. But I kind of like the ethereal look this color gave her. This is the permanent red tint. That doesn't look like permanent red tint, but I guess that's what it says on the bottom. But just look for colors you like. That's really it. And so that's it. You just continue decorating her any way you'd like, and you have a really cute piece. So now when you're thinking about hanging it, you could use things like chain, you could use ribbon, you could use wire, whatever it is you want. You just need to figure it out, and then you can embed it into the piece that you're going to hang it from. So, for instance, if I wanted to do a chain that kind of hangs like this, okay? So I would cut off the amount of the chain I want. Let me see if I have a scissor that cut it, because I don't have my pliers here. I do have I can open up one of these links. I should be able to. Let's see. There you go. So what you would do is you would find where you want to place it, and you would take your clay and embed that into the clay. Basically like so. Okay. And then you would do it over here as well. And so let's do that. And you could do this neater, obviously. I'm just, I would finish it off and make it nice, but just to show you how it can be done, I just want to show you real quick. And so there you have that. If that's the way you want to hang it with a chain, you could certainly do that. See, real super easy. And you could do the same with a ribbon. The ribbon you would probably glue on afterwards. You could do wire. You could put wire up here. If you wanted to, you could poke holes in her to hang the wire. It's totally up to you, but there are different ways you can do it. I like anchoring things with the clay. Now I could actually come up here if I wanted to and just do one loop at the top even, so that the loop is more like that at the top. So you can even change that around too. It doesn't have to be on the wings. You could have it hanging from right here, so that when you put it on a branch, it kind of hangs straight down if you're going to put it on a tree. So it's totally up to you if you want to hang it in the wall. You might want to try a different way, but just play around with it and see what you like. So, and change up your colors, because look at how different just the coloration can make it. Here's with purples and reds and pinks and all. And, obviously I'm going to continue probably decorating this a little, make it more my sister. She's not into green at all, but I like the way the green coming through looks. So have fun with it. And I hope you really enjoy this project. Simple, great for gifts. Speaking of gifts, we also have 3 retreats going on. That are going to start in 2016. We have the Polymer Clay Adventure Retreat, we have the Art Jewelry Adventure Retreat, and the Quilted Adventure Retreat. So there's 3 different retreats, and they make awesome gifts. They're only $99 for the entire year, and it includes everything. It includes all the classes, includes all the live events, swaps, and community, and the whole 9 yards. And so you can check that out at joinretreat.com, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. So if you want to give a gift, there's also a place on there that you can give a gift. And we also have a payment plan for 3 months if that helps you out as well. So think about that, and come on over to polymerclaytv.com. And if you click on shop, you can find all the supplies there. The polyform ones you can find at Michael's and Joann's, or you can find them online. And the Lisa Pavelka, you can find at lisapavelka.com. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next time.